Okay, we're going over Robin and Batman. This one is like a little passion one. I love this. It's by Jeff Lemire, who is writing also Robin and Batman Jason Todd. That one's coming out recently. I don't think the last one's out at this time. But man, do I love this one. It's so good. This one's about Dick Grayson. It's his point of view of being Robin with Batman. It's his first year. So we're going to hop in. Also, the art is amazing. This video might be a little bit longer than the normal one because this is a 3-issue series and each one's like basically the length of 2 comic issues. So yay for me for editing and yay for you for more content. Longer content, I suppose. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep doing this. I think I was wrong about everything. About who I am, about what I could be. I thought this would be a dream come true. A fantasy. I mean, there are monsters. There's even a knight. I thought it would be like a quest or a hero's journey, but maybe that was all a trick. I'm starting to worry that this isn't a fantasy at all. That instead, I found my way into a nightmare. I see now that there's a real darkness here, and it's not some make-believe darkness. It's real, it's ugly, and that darkness has a weight. And now, it feels like it's starting to pull me down with it. And the deeper I fall, the harder it is to see my way out. Now! Batman yells in his ear. The worst part is that I don't know if I even want to get out anymore. Maybe it's better down here. Maybe this is all I deserve. We are in the middle of a little heist. This is pre-Robin. He's not Robin yet, but this is Dick Grayson. If you don't know who that is, he is the first Robin. He is Nightwing, Batman's first prodigal son. His parents are known as the Flying Graysons. They were acrobats in a circus. He was part of that, and then they died. Most of the time, they get shot by a gangster. I can't remember his name. Watch Batman the Animated Series. I know that they talk about him a couple times. I believe it's Tony Zuko. Can't remember if that's what it is in the actual comic, but that's neither here nor there. The most important part of this is that he's still in training. You didn't get this guy. You weren't focused. You weren't paying attention to the whole picture as a guy almost stabs him. He takes down some other people. He gets picked up, and Batman wants to interfere, but Dick says, no, I can do this. No, you've lost control of this situation. Abort the mission. Dick takes down the rest of them, and just when he thinks he wins, Batman shows up all mad and throws a batarang at him, knocking out the last guy. You are not seeing the whole picture. Tunnel vision. Pick up that earpiece, get in the car, and we are going to observe. One of my favorite relationships is kid that has no idea what he's doing and a dad who also has no idea what he's doing. And I know that Bruce being a terrible dad is what a good chunk of people who don't really read Batman think, is that he's just a bad father. He just picks up kids, trains them, he abandons them, he doesn't show any emotion. That's like not the full picture. Usually it's something similar where he scoops them up, cares for them, has no idea what he's doing in the beginning, especially with Dick Grayson. He has no idea what he's doing. He thinks he's making a mistake, making another kid like him, but it's the first kid. He's the oldest child, essentially. He has no idea what he's doing because he's never been a dad. That's kind of how it's structured, is that he's not a bad dad. He's just an inexperienced dad. And we see that later on in the comics, in canon DC comics, of like, he treats Damian better than he did. He treats Tim better than he did. And he lets more emotion out because he just learned. Dick Grayson wasn't abused or anything. He joined Bruce's mission. Bruce treated him as like a surrogate son. And instead of like letting more emotion in, he shut himself out because he was too scared. And then eventually he backtracks and lets everybody in. It's just how it goes. He's not a bad dad. I want to get that out of the way. And we see a lot of that in this, is that he's not a bad dad. He's not a bad person. He just doesn't know what he's doing. But on a long car ride home, they finally arrive, and we see a dynamic also of Alfred kind of being Robin's real dad, taking care of Dick Grayson while Batman's kind of learning it, because Alfred already knows what he's doing. He knows what's best. And an argument ensues. I was fine. I didn't need your help. You almost got yourself killed. I knew you weren't ready. But I am ready. I would have seen the driver. I would have taken him out. No, you need more training, more discipline. It's too soon. We need to take a step back. No more live operations for a while. We'll continue your work in the Batcave. You keep training here. Master Bruce, if I can just interject. No, you don't get an opinion, actually, Alfred. Shut your mouth. And this is also where we see Bruce say, your behavior is proving me right. You're having a tantrum like a child. And this is also important for Bruce's thinking. Bruce doesn't want him to be a child. He wants him to be a weapon. He wants him to be him, which isn't the right answer. That's not what you want as a kid. Bruce's mind space at this current time in his career is that he needs a partner, not a son. He needs somebody to be like him on the ground in a war. It's a war. It's not playtime and we take out criminals and have fun. He wants a weapon that's essentially similar to him, that feels nothing, that only cares about the mission. But that's not what a kid needs. You don't have to say it, Alfred. You're going to say, but he is a child. And Alfred's rebuttal is what essentially he wants him. He wants a soldier. The child died when his parents did. He has to be a soldier. And Bruce agrees. It's true. It only works if he has the armor he needs to survive out there. I won't put a child in danger. He has to be something more. All I knew was that we were going to help a little boy who lost his family. You decided the rest without my opinion, as the usual. But here we are. And since we are here, wouldn't it hurt to show Master Dick a bit of compassion? Just a little leniency. Cold-hearted Bruce says, no, that would have gotten him killed. We would have been bringing home a dead child tonight. I guess you prefer to bring a dead soldier then. You know, he doesn't have to be just like you, Bruce. Perhaps the answer is letting him be who he is. No, that's not the answer. Get out of my cave, Alfred. Okay, Master Bruce. So that's the two schools of thought. And I love that Alfred is the good guy. He's the one that's helping out. As he should, because it's basically his kid. He's the grandpa spoiling his grandson with his actual son just not knowing what to do. Now, Dick is still in school. Mornings are the worst. Mornings of fantasy or nightmare or whatever this thing is. Goes away, and it just becomes real life again. Real life is the last place I want to be. That's why nightmare is better. At least I don't have to remember. Not yet. So I wait for night, but now he doesn't trust me anymore. So we go through the same old tests, and it's getting boring. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I should have never gone with him. But what was the alternative? At least I'm not alone anymore. When I'm alone too long, the ghosts come. My mom had this nickname. She called me once in a while. Not sure if it's dark enough, though. Maybe it should be something like Night Hawk or Night Wing. This is the best part of the day, the anticipation. I always know that I'm going to get on a real training mission if he picks me up at school. Maybe he's not mad anymore. Maybe he'll change his mind and I can go out here with him again tonight. And Alfred picks him up instead. Or maybe not. Alfred says, you seem disappointed to see me, Master Richard. I'll try not to take it personally. No, I'm sorry, Alfred. I just thought, we know he's very stubborn. When he gets an idea in his head. And Dick replies, I don't know. I'm starting to think this is some sort of test. I think grounding me is just to see what I'll do. What makes you so sure that he won't play mind games? That is very like him. Alfred says, yeah, dude, I don't think so. He destroyed the costume today. Well, you had no right. That was my costume. I apologize, Master Dick, but I think he did make the right call. Perhaps it's best that you do slow this whole thing down. Focus on your studies. Continue to train maybe when you're older. No, I'm not waiting a few years to do this. That's not why I agreed to come here. It's not part of the deal. He runs up to his room. I know what I'm going to do before I even go to my bedroom. I'm probably 100% right about this. My name should be darker, my costume stealthier. But that's exactly why I'm going to use this one instead. Bright red, yellow. The antithesis of what he would want. This may be dumb, but it's really going to piss him off. This really pisses me off. I was so worried about how the boy was doing that I missed something. I wasn't seeing the whole picture. And this is what I think is hilarious, is that Bruce is also inexperienced. He knows he's inexperienced. He's just making these super big, giant rules for Dick because he doesn't want Dick to be like him in a bad way. He wants him to be better, as most dads and parents do. The punks who were robbing that truck, I thought they were just some wannabe gangsters, a soft target, but that was the second meat truck that they had robbed in 4 nights. Why the hell were wannabe gangsters robbing meat trucks? So I tell Gordon to let them walk, and now I follow. And I already don't like where this is going. They weren't stealing meat, they were stealing food. I've been following him for the last half hour, and he hasn't even spotted me. And he says I'm not ready? Yeah, Batman goes down to a man cave, Robin follows in the back. And I won't lie to you, his costume's pretty good for making it in his closet. Which way did he go? Now my second guess, I will hunt him down. And who is usually inside of a sewer system? Ah, it's Killer Croc. What's up, kid? It's not Solomon Grundy. And a kid versus Killer Croc, that's not going to do nothing. Picks him up. That costume, where'd you get that costume? Where'd you get it, huh? Answer me! Batman shows up, beats him up. Get away from him, Waylon. Batman gets punched in the ribs. How did you guys know about me? Croc gets hit in the jaw. All right, what the hell are you doing? We got to get out of here. They leave because Batman's got 2 broken ribs from getting punched in the stomach by a metahuman. And now we return to the Batcave where we get into the thick of it. How did you let him slip past you, Alfred, wearing that? I thought it was a test. I thought you wanted me to show determination to prove I was ready. No, that outfit's ridiculous. How'd you think I could let you go into combat wearing something like that? It's my family's. I know. That's why I made you this instead. It's a brand new Robin suit. He burned the old costume and gave him a new one. Bruce is not a monster. His terrible way of showing his love. Robin, it's Robin. Yeah, I was going to give it to you next week. I was going to let you join me. But the only way you can know about Robin is if you read through my journal. You read my journal. Yeah, we can't have any secrets. But that was mine. That's all I had. But I thought you wanted this. This is what you wanted. It was a gift. And again, Bruce messes up because he just can't do. He's inexperienced. He just doesn't know what he's doing. He reads through his journal instead of actually talking to him. He just all this stuff is just him being not a shit father, but just an inexperienced one. Like in his mind, he's doing the right thing. He gave him what he wanted. He read his journal and gave him the stuff that he'd want. Robin runs up, rips out his journal. I think I was wrong about everything, about who I am, about what I could be. I thought this was a dream come true, a fantasy. There are monsters, there's a knight. I thought it'd be like a hero's quest or a journey. But maybe it was all just a trick. Starting to worry that this isn't a fantasy at all. Instead, I've found my way into a nightmare. I can see that there's a real darkness here, and it's not some sort of make-believe darkness. It's real and it's ugly. That darkness has weight, and now it feels like it's starting to pull me down with it. The deeper I fall, the harder it is to see my way out. And the worst part is that I don't know if I even want to get out anymore. Maybe it's better down here. Maybe it's all I deserve. And we follow Croc, who goes back to the circus and sees the Robin costumes from the Flying Graysons. Croc put together who Robin is. He saw the suit, recognized it earlier in the sewers, and said, huh, we've both been here before. We're both from the circus. So yeah, no bueno on that thing. But that's the end of this one. I thought it'd be a longer video. I thought it'd be like 20 minutes, but we're only like 14, 15. So yeah, thank you for watching, commenting, subscribing. This is Robin and Batman by Jeff Lemire. Issue 1. We'll do issue 2 and 3 next. So, peace out.